Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni muli wanji, namaste, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jed Lee, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville and Orange County, California. We are so delighted and so honored that you're joining us in our mission to help all families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to tell all of your family and friends about the show, and please be sure to subscribe to the show on the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. Today we're sharing some great highlights from our trip out to the Orange County Children's Book Festival, introducing you to 5 amazing authors. But before we go back out to California, we want to let you know that this episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by The Captain's Daughters, a fantastic middle grade novel by Doreen Berger. For most adolescents, growing up is hard enough when one has both feet firmly planted on the earth. But for mischievous 12-year-old sisters Diane and Robin, life is complicated further by the fact that their father, Captain William Marsh, is the commander of the starship Polaris. Living amongst the stars provides a never-ending realm of creative possibility for the free-spirited girls' pranks and adventures. This is a really fun and exciting book that you and your kids are going to love. It is a Reading with Your Kids certified great read, and it deserves a spot in your family library. The Captain's Daughters by Doreen Berger. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by I Can Handle It by Lori Wright. If you are a parent or a teacher of kids age 4 and 5, then this is a book for you. Lori Wright, the author of I Can Handle It, helps people just like you boost positive self-talk in kids so that they can feel less anxious and more confident. I Can Handle It is written in kid language so the kids get it and understand how to speak to themselves. It features everyday situations that seem difficult, showing kids that life's ups and downs can be handled. When reading the book, kids understand that they can handle their problems too and start repeating the phrase, I can handle it, almost immediately. Negative self-talk is the root of most mental suffering. So by teaching positive self-talk to kids when they're young, we can help them avoid a lifetime of mental struggle. This book has helped hundreds of thousands of kids around the world feel better about themselves. It's published in 8 different languages. It's become a staple in many home libraries, classrooms, and therapist offices. And Laurie has offered the audiobook to you for free. That's right, for my audience, I Can Handle It is available for free in audio. Download it at lauriewrightauthor.com/Jed. Make sure you use a capital J to get a taste of what it's all about. We're here at the Orange County Children's Book Festival. What a great day. I'm at Jennifer King's booth. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing well today. How are you?
I'm wonderful. What a neat event this is, isn't it?
It really is. It's so fun to see all the kids come out with their families and really enjoy what we have to offer. There's so many authors and illustrators and just bookstores and books to look at. It's a heaven for people who like to read.
That's a good way to describe it. It's like heaven for people who love to read.
It really is.
Yeah. And you have a book here, Home for Snail. Tell us all about it.
That's right. I wrote Home for Snail, I think about 17 years ago. And, you know, my mom kept saying, you need to make this, put it into a book. And I've always loved to write. And so I finally found, I think timing is everything, and I finally found an illustrator that I could work with that was local like I am. She lives in Dana Point. I live in San Juan Capistrano, and we happened to collaborate together, and it was just wonderful putting it together with her. It took about a year, and the book came out right when COVID hit, so I had to kind of postpone all the book signings and events and openings, but here we are today. We're so happy to be back back and be part of the Orange County Children's Book Festival and get to really promote the book. So it's a wonderful little book.
Tell us the story.
Well, it's about a snail who wants to sell his shell, and he doesn't realize why his shell is so important to him, but all he knows is he's tired of carrying it around on his back all day. So he meets these wonderful friends along the way in his backyard where he lives, and they each have their home, and he tries to sell it, but they won't buy it because they realize the importance of their home. So in the end, there's a cute little message that he realizes why his home is so important to him as a snail.
That's very, very cool. Now, you were telling me before we started the recording that you have a fascinating background. You came from TV news.
I did. I worked at Channel 7 KBC in Los Angeles right out of college, and then I became a chef. So I went to Le Cordon Bleu, and I fell in love with the Food Network and started cooking at home like a crazy person. That's when I realized my true passion and calling. And so I went to culinary school, became a chef, and now I just got hired as a culinary arts teacher at San Clemente High School. So I'm really excited to start there.
Awesome, awesome. So you were tired of cooking up news on TV and decided to cook up food.
That's right, yes. And I actually got to do some TV cooking with the Food Network. I worked on the Barbecue with Bobby Flay show as a producer for the show for my externship, and then I got to be his barbecue gadget girl for the show, which was great. And then I've worked at different restaurants in Orange County, Club 33 at Disneyland. I've owned my own businesses doing cooking classes in people's homes, and the last thing I did was really work at Sur La Table as their resident chef in Costa Mesa at South Coast Plaza and Newport Beach.
Wow.
So yes, a vast career, almost 20 years as chef. I can't believe it, but my passion has always been as well writing, and that's something I've always been really good at. And so I think it kind of combines the journalism aspect of what I do.
Yeah, that's fascinating. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Oh, I get asked that question quite a bit. I'm half Mexican and half Irish and English, and so I always go back to my roots. I love cooking, authentic Mexican food. I love cooking. My grandmother was from the South. I call her Paula Deen reincarnated. Everything has butter, biscuits and gravy, and apple pie. Of course, I try to make it a little healthier, just so that we can eat it in moderation and still enjoy how much, the flavors that really come through with those cultures.
Okay, what is it? Irish food. What's your? Because I'm Irish, and we're not known for our culinary expertise.
I would say the English and Irish, kind of like the fish and chips and the beer battered anything, is amazing. Guinness.
There you go.
So I make some amazing Guinness cupcakes that are delicious, actually, to put beer in cupcakes if you've never had it.
I haven't, and my daughter's fiance, I have a feeling we're gonna get him hooked on that. He loves Guinness.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, so do you have a website, a place where folks can go to learn more about you?
Home for Snail, the book, is actually sold on Amazon, so you can go to Amazon and buy it. It's $10, and it's a paper copy book. I can't think of the word here. I'm working on getting a hard copy soon. So yes, Amazon would be the best place to buy it right now.
Awesome.
If you can't come down today, and I'll sign it for you if you come down today.
All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it.
From TV news and cooking to a daughter who is incredibly proud of her superhero mom. Here's CJ Charles and her mom. All right, we're here at the Orange County Children's Book Festival with CJ Charles. CJ, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
It's a great day here in Orange County.
Yes.
Lots of families are out here today, and families are getting to know books like My Mother is a Superhero.
Absolutely. Wonderful job. Good job. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful day.
Tell us about the book.
So this is a bilingual book that celebrates motherhood. And it's in English and Spanish. And it's a little girl who celebrates all the wonderful everyday things that her mother does for her.
Wonderful. Yeah. And what kind of things does the girl really appreciate her mom doing?
So she thinks it's amazing, like the food that her mom cooks for her. She thinks it's like a gourmet meal. And the mom is like, this is like a burnt tomato soup. The mom combs her hair, and she thinks it's so amazing that her mom can, fix her hair so nicely. She makes the car work. So just those everyday things that the mom does helps her with her homework. And she's just like, she thinks it's an amazing thing. So that's why she's a superhero.
So all those things kids take for granted.
Yes, those everyday little things, yep.
Was there something in particular that inspired you to write this book?
Yes, my mother, right over there, Alice. So she's the superhero in the book, and I'm the little girl. And it's my love letter to motherhood. That's what I call it.
Well, Mom, I have to ask you, how did it feel when this book came out?
I'm the proudest mother that anyone could ever be.
That's wonderful. Yeah, she did a nice job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
I love that. I love hearing the pride that parents have for their kids.
I'm very proud of her. I mean, she just, it was a surprise. And since it's a love letter to me, it means a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited I had a chance to meet you, and I'm really excited I had a chance to meet you, CJ. Thanks very much.
I thank you for coming by. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
There's so much going on at the Orange County Children's Book Festival. Hey, if you are aware of any wonderful children's book festivals in your area, please let us know. We'd love to come out and take part in it. Right now, we're going to be talking to Suzanne Strauss about her wonderful book about hummingbirds. We're here at the Orange County Children's Book Festival. It's a beautiful sunny day, and all sorts of wonderful people are coming by our booth. And just right now, Suzanne Strauss came by, and she told me that she is a children's author. Hey, Suzanne, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Tell me about your book.
Okay, my book is about a baby hummingbird that grows up. I had an opportunity. I had a little baby hummingbird that nested in my yard, and I was curious to see how the baby would grow up. So I took pictures, and I wrote a story about it, and it shows how the baby grows up and how the mom takes care of the baby.
So neat. That sounds really fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been so fun. I give presentations at bird stores and nature stores all about baby hummingbirds.
What's the one thing that you found out that you found the most fascinating?
Oh my gosh. There are so many facets. I found, first of all, how tiny they are. Mm-hmm. And then that, how the feathers came in. Oh, how they, this is, one of the fascinating things is how they keep the nest clean. So even as they're little babies, the nest is soft on the inside. So what they'll do is they'll scooch their little bum out and then do their business and then scooch back in. So the nest around is really messy. So if you have a lot of mess, look up in the tree to see if you have a hummingbird's nest, because that's how they keep the nest clean. So I thought that was really interesting.
That is really interesting. Now, I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Boston. It wasn't until about 5 years ago that I actually saw my first hummingbird live and in person. And I was on my hammock on our deck, and I was just there, and the hummingbird came by, and it was a really magical moment for me.
It is. They are so special, and they're just so beautiful.
Yeah.
There's nothing like them. They are so unique in their characteristics, and so many people have such attachments to them.
Yeah.
And I do too.
Yeah. So the book is a story with your photographs?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. It must have been really challenging getting photographs, because I know when I see hummingbirds, they're zipping all around. How did you get those shots?
I was very careful and diligent of where the mom was. Mm-hmm. So, and the sunshine and the wind and everything else. So I would wait for the mom to leave, and I was out there all day, just waiting for opportune times to take the pictures. I used a quiet camera when I was closer to the nest because I didn't want to startle the mom or the baby. And then as the baby got bigger, then I was able to go further away and use a zoom camera. But I was always careful, and for me, the hummingbirds weren't necessarily flying away. They were, the mom was sitting on the nest or very close by all the time.
That's neat. Where can people go to find out more about your book and more about you?
Oh, more about me. Probably the best place is on my website, which is sunnystylebooks.com. And you can purchase the book on Amazon or through my website. And I have free activities for kids on my website that they could download, as well as the recipe to make hummingbird nectar you can do from your home to feed the hummingbirds. And a lot of information.
Awesome. You scared me for a minute. I thought you were making nectar out of the hummingbirds.
No, sugar water for the hummingbirds.
Well, thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure.
You know, the thing about going to the Orange County Children's Book Festival or any book festival is that you meet all sorts of wonderful authors. You meet lots and lots of great families, and you meet aspiring authors. And we had a chance to sit down with an aspiring author from Peru. All right, back here at the Orange County Children's Book Festival, and I just met Lourdes Bonavente, and she wrote a book. It's called Yes, I Can. Hey, Lourdes, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Tell us a little bit about Yes, I Can, please.
Yes, I Can is a book that I want to make for the children that, you know, now in these times, most of them are like little bit impatient. It's some feelings like frustration when they don't can reach something that they want. So this is a book that helps the children to think about that everything that you want to reach on the life, you need to make, how do you say, sorry, my English, effort.
Effort, yeah.
Exactly. Nothing is easy in life. You need to, yeah.
I think that's an important message for kids that, you know, if you want something, you have to work for it.
Exactly. It's very important. So little children knows sometimes that they want something, but they don't want to wait, and so it's important to show them in this book different animals, how they work for reach something that they wish, especially this worm that lives in a flower pot.
Yeah, so your main character is
Yes.
a worm.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the worm's name?
Jackson.
Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Where did you meet a worm that impressed you, or did Jackson just come from your imagination?
No, I meet one when I was playing with my child, and they take care for them, and I saw how long it takes for him to go from a place to another, but how confident he is to go, this way. Yeah, so it was my inspiration, and especially my children.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, you were sharing with me before we started recording that you're originally from Peru.
Yes.
What's children's literature like in Peru? Are there a lot of Peruvian children's authors, or do most kids' books come from the States?
Most comes from in Peru. In Peru, we have good authors, writers. But we have also books from other places, other states. Yes.
Yeah.
But we have very nice also stories, especially from our the story of our country. With the animals from our country. It's the last one I saw were about a llama, because it's from Peru, and also another one from the jungle that is different, that you only can find in Amazon, Amazonas, in the Amazonas, jungle. There is a very nice stories about. Yeah, and I love it because the children learn about our culture, about different regions of our country, So that's what also I like most. Yeah, the airplane.
Yeah,
children love airplane. Yeah, and it's nice to see so many authors here in this festival. I can't believe it because I thought we have good books, but it's incredible. It's amazing to see how many good books and the creativity and imagination the authors, different authors have. Yeah,
I'd say there's at least 100 or more authors here, and there are thousands and thousands of families, and it is wonderful, and it's great to see them all coming together out of a love of books.
Yeah, especially to bring children to engage with the love and passion to read. It's very important because most children are now only in the video games, and that's sad. Because technology is good, but too much is not. I think it's important to read. It opens your mind.
Yep. Now, I understand that Yes, I Can is also available as Yo Puedo Si.
Yo sí puedo.
Yo sí puedo.
Yo sí puedo.
Yes.
Exactly.
So a bilingual book. Why was that important for you to make the book available in both English and Spanish?
Because I think it's important to enjoy learning the language with a nice book that you can see many illustrations, and it's easier for children to learn language when you can read them a book, especially at night. No, when parents go home, back home. It's a good time to read with your children before going to bed, no? And in Spanish, if you can, a little bit, and then it goes in brain easier, and they remember better the words with a story than, I think so.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And can people buy the book anywhere?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I hope soon. I'll let you know when I have
All right.
it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
We had so much fun connecting with families, authors, aspiring authors, other performers at the Orange County Children's Book Festival. We also have a lot of fun connecting with you on social media. So if you haven't done so already, please do connect with us on social media. Facebook.com/readingwithyourkids, at Reading With Your Kids on Instagram and TikTok, at Jedley Magic on Twitter. Also, be sure to visit our Reading With Your Kids page on YouTube. And, of course, we would love it if you could visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. You can click on the contact button at the top of the page to let us know what we're doing well, let us know what we could be doing better, and let us know who you would like to hear on a future episode of the Reading With Your Kids podcast. Hey, we're here at the Orange County Children's Book Festival, and Steve Algar is here to tell us about Norky. Steve.
Well, thank you for asking. In fact, I created a character. He's actually part penguin, part eagle, so he can swim and fly. The character's named Norky, and my new book that's going to be out in November is called Norky and the Dream Factory. And it's all about good deeds. You can't get to the Dream Factory unless you do a good deed.
That is a great message for kids.
Yes, and even the teachers and the parents and the grandparents, they really love that message.
I do. I like that message. Doing good deeds is kind of we don't talk about it that much anymore, do we?
No, but a good deed could be so simple as like a little child or a young person setting the table while their parents are making dinner.
Right.
It could be picking up your clothes. Those are all considered good deeds. And so what we want is for you to come to the Dream Factory and do a good deed.
That sounds fun. And you gave me a little preview of the book. You have some great characters. It's kind of like a fantasy for younger kids.
Yes. And it's a good lesson for some adults, too.
Well, this is true. We do need a lot of adults to remember to do their good deeds.
And if you happen to go to the Norky Time Clock Shop, all time zones are welcome.
Oh, well, that does good for me because I still haven't gotten used to this West Coast time yet. I'm waking up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, so all time zones are welcome. Like all races or cultures, but I wrote all time zones are welcome.
Was there something in particular that inspired this book?
Yes. How inspired the book is because I felt like there was nothing out there to teach and remind people of doing good deeds. And so what I did, a lot of people say that when they read it, it's a very clever book because I incorporated with General Time on horseback, Montana, the Princess Angel of the Moon. I have the map maker who does the maps so you know how to travel. Montana, the Princess Angel of Moonlight. So I have all these other characters to make it warm so that when you can adventure through the night, you're not afraid. But stay away from Icebox. He's the guardian of timeless fear and nightmares, and Norky will protect him from you.
Well, I think people should definitely check out Norky, the half eagle, half penguin.
Yeah, we call him a pen eagle, Norky the Pen Eagle, and you could just go to www.norky.com. That's N as in Nancy, ORKY.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being with us.
And thank you.
Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading With Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Dr. Danielle Ramsor Fisher. She'll be here to celebrate It's Bedtime. Dr. Danielle is a fascinating person. She has some great advice on how we can help families connect better with schools, really improving that communication between schools, teachers, and families, helping to build a partnership instead of what so many parents and schools experience. You know, the relationship is really adversarial, and we don't want that to happen. We need to be in a partnership with our schools and our teachers. That's the next episode of the podcast. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Of course, I want to thank all of our guests, Jennifer King, CJ Charles, Suzanne Strauss, Lourdes Bonavente, and Steve Algar. Also want to thank my team, Fatima Khan, Rory Grady, Mirabella Q, Jordan Saley. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.